Good evening, ma'am. With your kind permission, I would like to begin with the session. May
Hi
I?
Nitya, good morning. Hi Nitya, good morning. Oh, sorry, good evening to you guys.
Ma'am, your voice is not clearly audible.
Uh, let me reconnect.
Ma'am, your voice is not clearly audible.
Hello, can you hear me
Yes,
better
ma'am.
now?
Yeah, ma'am, it's better than before.
Okay. Yeah, sure. What now? Is it good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Hi.
Good evening, everyone, respected dignitaries, esteemed speakers, and all the bright minds joining us today. I, Nitya Malhotra, extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the AFI Intensive Certificate Program on Legal Research and Career Pathways. Before we begin, allow me to briefly introduce the institution behind this initiative. The Asian Forum for International Academic Interaction, AFIA, established under the aegis of Nyayat Foundation Trust, is a dynamic platform dedicated to fostering academic collaboration, research, excellence, and practical engagement in law and aligned disciplines with a strong focus on alternative dispute resolution, international law, and emerging legal frameworks. AFI aims to bridge the gap between theory and practice by bringing together academics, practitioners, students, and industry experts across borders. Through its conferences, workshops, training programs, and collaborative research initiatives, AFI continuously promotes knowledge exchange, skill development, and innovation in legal scholarship. Guided by its vision, empowering knowledge and advancing resolution, AFI is steadily emerging as a hub for academic interaction and professional growth in the global legal landscape. This intensive certificate program will run over next 4 weeks from 27 March to 19th April, bringing together a series of insightful and engaging sessions designed to deepen your understanding of legal research and career pathways. Through this journey, participants will have opportunity to learn from distinguished academicians and industry experts, making it a truly enriching and practical learning experience. Today's topic is about American bar preparation, which is both relevant and essential for every law student. This session will provide valuable insight into international legal qualification pathway, preparing strategies, and career opportunities in cross-border legal practice. It's now my honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Ms. Sangamitra Sahi, who is dual qualified attorney with extensive experience in international arbitration, dispute resolution, and cross-border legal practice. Her experience will offer participants a comprehensive understanding of American bar pathways and its professional implications. Ma'am, we are truly privileged to have you with us today. To all the participants, this is your opportunity to learn, engage, and grow. So make the most of it. Without any further delay, I invite Ms. Sangamitra Sahi to take session forward. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nitya. Can you guys hear me well? I'm
Yes, ma'am,
assuming
you're
yes.
audible.
And you can see my screen, right? Screen
Yes, ma'am.
sharing. Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Good evening to everyone joining from India. And before I start, I'll go into like whatever questions you guys have. It's fine if you want to ask it during the session, but preferably we can ask towards the end. And also, you can connect with me on LinkedIn if you feel any of your questions have not been answered during the call because of the like time restriction. So feel free to find me Sangmitra Sahai on LinkedIn and reach out, and I'll be very happy to help you guys. Now, starting with the bar preparation for the US. So there are certain pathways, and I thought it would be better if I draw it and show it to you guys by flowchart. First thing, most of the universities that require over here is that you need to have a LLM over here. Okay, sorry, most of the bar states that require that you need to have a LLM from the US. Um, in the US, it is not like India that you take the AIB exam and you're good to practice in every state. In the US, you need to have licensed. You need to have been licensed in every state where you practice, barring certain exceptions. So most commonly, international students go for New York, California, and there's another state, Texas. Okay, but New York is the most common one, given its wide acceptability, not just in the US but across the world. California has certain restrictions. It's a little more difficult to pass given their style of judging, and given also their like low pass rates. They have extremely low pass rates. And Texas also lately have been seeing that a lot of students, not just Indian students but internationally also, they prefer to go to Texas, but that'll only be in the scenario if you are living in Texas and you plan to practice in Texas. That's not true for New York. So like I am right now in California, so I will be taking the California bar exam if I want to practice in California. But otherwise, like for an in-house counsel role, unless I'm representing a client in California courts, I am good with New York court. Now, one more thing, that the reason, so like DC is also one of the other jurisdictions, but for DC also the requirements are Washington DC. The requirements are a little different for international students. They want us to go through the JD process. You need to have so many subjects you have done, then only you can take the DC bar. Good part about New York is Another good part about New York is that it allows you to transfer to another jurisdiction. So another jurisdiction within the US, so allows to transfer. So for example, if I am barred in New York and I wish to transfer to DC, then after four, like whatever the requirements are for, in this case for DC, the requirements are that you have to be barred, as in you have to be registered, licensed with the bar for at least 4 years with New York. Okay, and then I can transfer to DC based on whatever requirements that they have. The problem with California is that California doesn't have reciprocity, which means that whether you have 20 years of experience, whether you have been barred for 20 years in the US, you still need, if you want to practice before California courts, you've got to take the California bar. Okay. And that's why, like, even students who go to California universities like Berkeley, Stanford, UCLA, all these universities, they still prefer to take New York bar. Now, that's the base where we start from. Certain So going back to the LLM part, okay. Now, certain European universities or certain, I'd say UK universities also, they are directly allowed evaluation. So, say if you from here, after completing your LLB in India, you go to UK to do your masters, that may, be careful, that may make you eligible to apply for New York bar. Okay, but it's not a necessity. Their reasoning is that we need to ensure that whatever subjects you need to have studied, have you studied them or not. So that's why, and they don't allow direct foreign evaluation from Indian universities. So like I went to Symbiosis Pune, and I did my LLM here in the US, and had I wanted that right after Symbiosis, I could have gotten my foreign evaluation done. That would not have been possible. Now, what is foreign evaluation? Foreign evaluation is you are so the New York bar website. Good thing about the bar course, bar exams over here is that you don't need to actually reach out to the bar administration all the time. You can 99% of the information you can find on their website. So the New York bar website, California bar website, all these are really good resources, and they do have free questions as in the past exam questions that you can take for practicing it. Now, foreign evaluation is, and this is applicable for California as well, that you have to submit your, so for example, I am also licensed in India. I am barred with Delhi Bar Council. So I had to submit a good standing certificate that there is nothing wrong with my bar license in India, good standing certificate, then my LLM completion degree, certain other things that I'm required to submit. And then based on that, the New York bar or California bar will approve me. Now, this approval doesn't mean I can take the, like I can just go ahead and sit for the bar exam. This approval means I have to fill the bar exam application. Okay. So this will be your first step. Your foreign evaluation is your first step. Your second step is that once you have received your approval, then the third step becomes that you fill for the bar exam application. Okay. Now, I will focus on California and New York, again, given the reason that most of the international students, they prefer to uh, take either of these two bars. Um, and with California, there is one exception. So, like for example, if I have been barred in New York, I passed the exam in 2021, but like the procedure takes a little bit of time. So, I got my bar license in 2023. So now, if I want to take the California exam after 2027, November 2027, then I can take something known as the attorney's exam. Okay, attorney's exam is a 1 day exam. What is the difference? I'll tell you in just a minute. 1 day exam. Okay. Otherwise, everyone has to take a 2 day exam, which is a known as general applicant. Okay. Now coming back to the bar exam application. So when do you fill this? This in New York takes about 6 months. The foreign evaluation process, it takes about 6 months, and they have a deadline that you are supposed to adhere to. So if you want to, so here it's 6 months. In California, they are much quicker with respect to that, so it doesn't take that long. For me, it went through, like I had a LLM, I submitted my moral certificate and all those things, so I got it within 2 months time here. And I have not heard from anyone or haven't seen anyone for whom it has taken more than 2 months. Now, bar exam application. Okay, so bar exam application, there are, the bar exam happens either in July every year or February. Okay, these are the two times the exam is conducted. Now, July exam, and it's always on the last Tuesday and Wednesday of the month. So there is nothing like you don't know the date. That this is like standard. Now, July exam, if you want to take the July exam, ideally for New York bar, you must submit your documents by October 1st of the previous year. Okay. So say if I want to take July 2026 exam, I should have submitted all my documents by October 1st, 2025. Again, the deadline you will find on the bar exam website. If you want to take the February exam, then I must have submitted it by March 31st of the previous year. So if I want to take February 2027, I have to send all my documents. They should have received the documents by this deadline. Otherwise, they can still process your documents, But given it's like again a government office, so it does take time, and they do receive a lot of these applications from around the world. So if you want to take the exam, just be very careful about the deadline. Now, I already mentioned the documents that you are required to submit: good standing certificate. Like for New York Bar, you'll be required to submit good standing certificate, your LLB degree. Then once you complete your LLM, then you have to submit your, so that is okay that you can submit in May or June whenever the graduation happens. Then you are required to submit your LLM attendance certificate. Okay. Now, so this is the overview of it. Now the two times these exams that happen, these are the bigger shark that you need to catch. Why do I say that? Because there are procedural requirements, a lot of them, and say for like New York again. This is New York bar. So it has certain levels. So first is this July bar exam. Generally, everyone refers to as the bar exam itself, because the pass rate is, even though it is like comparatively higher than California, but still it's one of the most difficult exams in the world to crack. Um, so July or Feb exam, it's a 2-day exam. In 2 days, you do the exam for six hours both day. Okay. I'll tell you what happens on each day. And then there is, so once you have passed this exam, okay, then ideally you should move to the next step. But a lot, like when you know that you've passed it. So for the July exam, the results come out by October end. For Feb exam, the results come out by April end. Okay. And the dates to fill this exam is, so like for Feb, you need to fill it by October 31st. Okay. And for July, you have to fill it by March 31st. Of course, if you have taken the previous exam, so like for example, if someone takes the Feb, sorry, someone takes the Feb exam, Feb 2026, and they unfortunately do not pass. So the result itself comes out in April end. So you'll be like, how do I fill up for the July exam by March 31st? For people who have just taken the previous administration exam, they have another month, or like say let's say about 3 weeks time period in which they can fill for the next available exam. So someone who has taken the Feb exam and wants to take the July 2026 exam because they did not pass, they can fill it by I think May 15th or May 20th, something like that. That's the date. So every year the date will be different, so you can just check that on the website. Now this is the biggest fish that you need to crack. Why? Happens 2 times a year. It's much more expensive. For foreign students, the exam fee itself is $745, I think. Okay. And then along with that, you have to go to New York to take the exam. This is an in-person exam. It doesn't happen online. So you have to be in the New York state. They will give you like, again, international students, actually not international students, anyone who's not a resident of New York. Like in India, we say domiciled, right? So someone who's not domiciled in New York will get only out of these two places that they get to choose. So one is Buffalo, where the Niagara Falls are, and then the second one is Albany. So you have to go here firstly, then what you have to consider in furtherance of this is travel costs. If you're traveling from anywhere in the US, at least like think about $300 to $400 will be your flight tickets based on when you are booking it, plus your travel hotel costs, like staying cost over the accommodation. You will eat something, of course, but so all those like hotel and accommodation. Let me just put it here. And then uh, And it's not just like the 2 days that you will be there. You will, of course, go one day before minimum. Most students go like the exam is on Tuesday, so most students would prefer to go on like a Sunday, so that just in case there is like a storm, or and in February definitely there are snowstorms and all those things happen. So people prefer to go on like a Saturday or a Sunday, or like for one of my mentees, she was supposed to travel Friday night, and then because of the snowstorm, her flight got delayed for Saturday, and then that flight got cancelled. Then she finally ended up traveling on Sunday. So that's why you need to be very careful to take that into account. So in all this exam, one exam turns out to be, let's say, $1,000 plus minimum. So that's why because the money that you're putting in is much higher, happens twice a year, and it is like you've got to be, I'll say, very consistent in your practice to pass this exam. Okay, so this was one of the first parts. Now the second part is you give the MPRE. Now MPRE is, sorry, this is the ethics exam. Okay, this happens 3 times a year. Once it's in March, then it's in August, and once it's in November. So March, August, and November. This is comparatively cheaper. I don't remember the exact cost for it. I think it's $150 um, that you have to fill in. Okay. This is online, but you have to go to the center. So it's like if you take a TOEFL exam in India, you have to go to the center to do that exam, right? TOEFL or IELTS, in either of those. So online at the center. This you get the results um, within 5 weeks. And for New York, the score that you require is 86, and same is for California also actually. So this is multiple choice questions on ethics, on like we have Advocates Act in India, right? It's similar to that. So they have ethics rules, model professional responsibility rules, and that's what you should know. Some those sound to be very basic, like you should not take bribe from your client. You should represent your client with like there should be a good communication between the attorney and client, and then there are judges ethics that are involved in this as well. This is easier, like it's very common sense based, but you still need to practice it. So for this, preparation time could be like if you are doing let's say 4 hours every day, then a week's preparation is good, I would say, or you can say 10 days. Like most people want to do 10 days, let's say 10 days with focused preparation. Or if you have, like you're doing your LLM, you have other things, you can pay attention for only 2 hours or something like that, then ideally you should start like 3 to 4 weeks before to give yourself enough time, 3 weeks. Now for this, the MPRE materials, they are available free of cost on all major bar exam like providers, I'd say. Okay, so free. Examples would be Barbary, Themis, Kaplan, and many more. I had taken Barbary, so it's more expensive, but I absolutely love Barbary. Uh, Now, this was the second exam. Okay, the score that you get, that's valid for 4 years. So that's why I was saying that once you crack this exam, this one, the bigger fish, then only take the MPRE and the other two exams that I'm going to tell you. Because if your score expires, you again have to do it. But because this has to be taken in the online at the center in the US, so most of the students who come for LLM, they prefer to take it while they are still in the US, so that they don't have to travel back just for this exam. Okay, now the third exam that we have is this is called LC and NYLE. So this is New York Law course. Okay. And based on this is the law exam, New York law exam. Now you would say that, oh, there we are already doing the New York bar exam. Why do we have to do this again? Over here, the subjects that are included, they are federal subjects, okay, which is like the state subjects. So you'll, let me put it down, federal plus some of state rules. So New York or California, some of the subjects are for that. This is exclusively New York law. So how is family law functioning in New York? What are the precedents? What are the requirements? All those things are exclusive to New York. Now this course, New York law course, again, sorry, this is online on the website, online on New York Bar website. And if I remember correctly, it's free of cost. Yeah, I think it's free of cost. So you just go, like you read, there are videos that are posted. You have to watch the videos. You have to do certain questions, and then you are done with it. Now, once you've passed the New York Law course, then you can do the New York Law exam. This is also online. I think this is not expensive. I think less than $100, or maybe $50, $100 or less application fee, online from your home. Okay. Uh, Score is again valid, I think, for 3 years only. Score validity that you have to check. And this score that you pass, did I write 266? Okay. So for New York, the passing score is 266. This is valid for 3 years. So within 3 years time period after you've passed the exam, you must complete your MPRE, you must complete your New York Law and New York Law course and New York Law exam, and then you have to also do pro bono hours. So you can see like why I passed in 2021. It took me some time to get all those things done. And then finally, once you submit your documents, they will review it. And all those process, like it's much more detailed, and you should only worry about once you pass the exam, not before that. Before, like just focus yourself on the passing this exam. Now, this is an open book exam. So you can take a printout and like put sticky notes, flag it, do it like that. This is also multiple choice exam. Okay. Happens 3 times a year, similarly like MPRE. Uh, so once you are done with this exam, once you're done with MPRE, pro bono hours is 50 hours. So this can be valid like from anywhere in the world you can do it, and it could be done beforehand also. Like if you've done any internship with any NGO or any kind of like think tank, if it was like if it can be calculated towards pro bono hours, then you are sorted with this. You just need to submit your certificate. So that's the bigger overview of New York Bar. Now coming to this bigger shark that I was talking about. Now, why do I call it the shark? Is this is a 2-day exam. Okay. Now, in the 2 days, the first day, the exam for both days starts from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. That's session 1. Then the second session is 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. Any questions so far? Let me check the chat. No. Nitya, are there any questions? No. Okay. Now 9 to 12, session 1, 12 to 5, session 2. But you have to reach there by like 8 a.m. and then over here you come out after the exam by like say 12:30. Then you have to be seated by 1:30. So you can think about like from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. you will be there in the exam hall. Okay. That's the ideal time period, both days. Now first day, unless it's for California. California, it's like 30 more minutes. Now, first day, what do you get tested on? So there are two MPTs plus six essays. Okay. Now, what are MPTs? MPT. So you this is your happens in your first session, morning session, in session one, and this happens in your remaining 3 hours, session two. Okay. MPT is something that they provide you all the information. I can show you a sample. Let me see. Yeah. So this is from my, I mentor bar prep students. So this is from my session yesterday. This will be a document. This is the actual bar question from last July. Okay. So you can see it's called MPT. Now, what does this have is, they will provide you all the documents. It'll be like a 20-page file that they are you can do it online also. Online, I mean, you can write the answers handwritten, or it can be on laptop. Now what this does is, they provided you all the information. You can see that they'll give you, like in real life, how it happens, right? There will be a client who will come down with their problem. What happened? Okay. A client who will come down with their problem, the client will bring certain documents with them. Okay, that there was an FIR, and it can be on any subject. So this is one of the easiest portions of the exam, but because students don't practice it, they tend to lose out on this. And then they also provide you the law that is going to be applicable. So you actually don't need to know any law from outside. They can ask you about copyright, they can ask you about trademark, they can ask you about tax, whatever it is. But you don't have to worry about remembering stuff, because they are providing you what law is applicable. It's in a fictional state, Franklin. So they provide you what law is applicable, and they'll also provide you what case precedents you have to look at. Okay. So based on that, this memo, you can see that they will provide you what you have to draft. So here you have to draft a section of a brief. They're already providing you what you have to draft. Sorry, give me 1 second. Yeah. Now, this is like in real life, your partner would tell you that, hey, Sangeeta, I have these things. There's a client, this is their problem. You have to draft this. And then these are the documents that they have brought with them. So you go through these documents. Ideally, you should do one MPT in 90 minutes. That's 1.5 hours. And then you can see down here, like this is all the documents that the client brings. So you're provided all of this. And then this is the evidence, the rules that you should know and you should apply. So if you know how to do like reading comprehension, this is the easiest portion of the exam. You follow the instructions that they're providing you, you do read properly, extract the information, and write based on whatever document your boss has, or whatever your task memo is asking you to do. So you can see that there is definitely a certain style in getting things out. So that's what my session was yesterday. But this is the easiest portion. So that's the MPT. Okay. So 2 hours. Now over here, the 6 essays that you have. So this is done. The 6 essays that you have, you ideally should spend 30 minutes per essay. Okay. Now the essays, what they test you on, can you think and write like a lawyer? So they'll give you like an A4 size question, A4 paper size question. So let me show you the questions also. So something like this is the question. Okay. So this is MEE, it's known as multi-state something essay. Now this can be on multiple subjects. This can be on one subject. And then you have to read this, extract information. These are the questions that they will provide you. That you have to, this is all publicly available on New York Bar website. So if you go and look for past exam questions, you can find this. These are the questions that you have to deal with. So, okay, so this is Fourth Amendment search, this is criminal law. All this is criminal law that they're talking about. Definitely they must be somewhere referring to criminal law, maybe consti is also involved. So that's how they will test you though. That's how the questions are designed in the essay. See, all of them are about 1.5 page. Now, Where did it go? Okay, so here the 6 essays can be from any of these subjects. So let me list down the subjects. So your, is that visible? Yeah. So subjects are, there are certain, that's not good enough. Okay, so there are MBE subjects, which is multiple choice. MBE is known as multiple choice. These are the main subjects, and then there are MEE subjects. Okay, these are the state specific subjects. So like for California bar also, this will have different rule, but these are federal laws. Okay, so the MBE subjects that we have are, these are the first year subjects that uh, American students study in JD first year. LLB's JD over here, which we would, I will say, study like contracts, torts. We study in a 5-year course. We'll study in the first two years, or maybe 3 years also. Like we had evidence in a third year. So the subjects over here are constitutional law, civil procedure, okay, criminal law, crim procedure, evidence, contracts, torts, and property law. So real estate property. Okay. Now these are the main 8 subjects. Why are these main 8 subjects? Because they are tested on the MCQs, which is MBE, okay, plus the essays. Now the ME subjects, they are tested only on the essays on the first day, not the second day. So these subjects in New York, they are agency, partnership, family law, secure transactions, wills, trusts. There is conflict of laws. There is one more that corporations. Okay, so these are tested only on the essay day. That's the first day, essay day. Only on essays. So that's why like all these subjects can be a mix and match. You have to do issue spotting. What does that mean? You have to spot what issues are being provided in the answer question. You spot the question, you spot the issues, you do the IRACing, CREAC, CRAC, whatever you do. But that's how you're supposed to. Here, you need to remember the law. Okay, so that's why you have to given a significant amount of practice over here. Remember the law, like this is a memory game. They are going to change it from 2027. In New York, they are changing it from July 2027. That will be a new style, but at least for now, this will be a good understanding for you guys. Now, these 3 essays, you guys have seen the essay, how it is. So it can be a mix of any of these subjects. It can be just one subject. It can be based on however they want it. Now, is it possible to clear the bar exam with strong MBE performance? No. ME is equally important. Both of these sections they have the same weightage. So out of your 266, unless you are like the required passing score, unless you get like say 200 on your MBE, which is, I mean, I would say unreasonable to expect. Otherwise you need to perform really well, and actually not just on the essays, you also need to perform really well on the MPTs because they have the same weightage. So it's not like you need to individually pass the subjects, but you need to score the 266 points, which is very you can get like a little bridge. So maybe you are stronger with the essays, so you get more marks on the essays rather than on so like rather than getting 133, maybe on essays you got a 150, and over here you get the remaining one, whatever it is, 116. But this 150 to get is really difficult as well, because the marking of the essays is not it's not easy. They go really in detail about it. They're like, why have you not written? I mean, they don't say that, of course, but you can very clearly see that. Have you spotted the major issues? Have you spotted the minor issues? Have you written the law? Have you done the analysis? Have you done the conclusion? So this is a really good way to train a lawyer. That's my perspective, that how do you think in real life. You can't copy paste the law when you are arguing before the court, or when you are like even negotiating a contract, right? You need to know how to implement that law on the given set of facts. That is what a lawyer is about. That is what an attorney is, that you need to know how to do the legal analysis. And that is something very important. So based on that, you have to get that. You have to do the reasoning over here on the essays. So this was the first day. Now the second day of the exam is, sorry, second day again, session 1 and then session 2. Now session 1, same hours, 3 hours. Here you have 100 multiple choice questions. And again, here you have 100 multiple choice questions. So these are done on Scantron sheet, that OMR sheet that we have. Okay. You don't need a laptop, you don't need anything, you just need to have your pencils with you. And the 100 MCQs, so if you do the calculation, 3 hours, you actually have 1.8 minutes, which is 1 minute 48 seconds to do a question. Okay. Now, these are not the questions that we used to at least have in multiple choice questions in India. Like we used to have like, okay, true and false. Okay, very, very like random example is it raining outside? Yes or no, something like that. Over here, it's not that simple. It will be like, okay, so you can see the clouds, but you can also see the sun, and the temperature is this much. And then do you predict, like based on the rules that you know, that is it going to rain or not? So it is, unless you know the law for these 8 subjects properly, and you remember the exceptions, and you can very quickly read the question, read the answer choices, the 4 answer choices, and it's difficult to do it in 1.8 minutes. Okay, so let me find a MB sample question. uh, let's see if it opens up. So something like this, you guys can see, right? Husband and wife were married in state A. Should the court grant the motion? So this is civil procedure. Husband and wife were married in state A and lived there for 10 years before separating. 1 month later, the wife permanently moved to state B and immediately filed for divorce in a federal court in state B. So federal court, state court, all those things come in. The wife claims that she is entitled to $300,000 in alimony. The husband appeared in the action, has filed a motion to dismiss for the lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Now, unless you know really on your fingertips what subject matter jurisdiction is, what are the requirements, what are the exceptions, you will spend much more time in doing this. Okay, so, and this is one of the shorter questions. And if you read the answer choices, it'll also feel like that all the answers will seem to be right. Like very rarely it'll be like, you'll be like, nah, this answer choice is definitely wrong. So the answer choices are really close to each other. Okay, so that is the 100 MCQs on both days. It is really like you'll come out of the exam hall really tired, but it's a fun part of it also, because once you pass the exam, you are barred for life. You just have to keep renewing your registration. New York Bar is considered to be, as I mentioned, one of the most difficult bar exams to crack in the world. It's really reputed, not just in the US. Like even if you want to work anywhere in the world, if you say that you're licensed in New York, they do look at you with some respect. So that's the overview about the bar exam. Any questions? And I can list down the courses that are provided as well. So preparation time, I can quickly cover that. If you're working full time, or if you have, so there are bar prep courses who do it in 2 months time also. So for a July exam, they'll start somewhere in mid-May, but that requires you to study 8 to 10 hours every day, and you are under very high, like under time pressure. You are under a lot of stress for the bar exam. So if you most of the international students, because they graduate in May, they tend to take the July exam, and visa and all those issues definitely come in. But if you're working full time, if you are here, most students, like I had a mentee, I had a student who started with me in December 2024 for the Feb 2026 exam, because he had he was working full time with a law firm. He had a toddler daughter. So all those things, like all your commitments, they come in the way. So you definitely need more time. So definitely it's advisable that you pace out the studying based on what you can do and what is practical for you. Okay. Um, the bar prep courses, the common ones would be Babri, uh, Themis, Kaplan, UWorld. So UWorld has just MBE questions that we just saw. That was one of the samples. Then there is AdaptiVar. This is also, they are expanding into essays and videos and all those things. And there are many more. Like you will find many more bar prep courses. Again, you have to look at the cost, because these bar prep courses, they do not come cheap, especially if you're converting from INR, given what the dollar rates are now. So you have to be very conscious about the costs as well. Um, yeah, so bar prep, that's a bigger overview of bar prep. Any questions that you guys have? It may seem overwhelming by the explanation over here, and it is not easy. It is definitely overwhelming a bit, but that's why I chose to do it in a flowchart format, so that you guys can understand what exactly the exam is like. It's not impossible to crack it, like it, but it definitely requires dedication. Think about it like you were studying for your CLAT entrance exam. So you have to be dedicated to it. Just the because now you are a lawyer, you understand law. That time you were not a lawyer, so the questions were more on the general side. Now you're a lawyer, so they are testing you that if we are giving you the license to practice, can you properly respect and deliver on your commitment to be barred in New York or in California? Um, so that's the thing. California bar has just few differences, but I don't want to confuse you guys. Broadly, it is the same. Same subject, same style of doing the test as well. One or two subjects maybe here and there. Actually, California just has one more subject, but that's the broad overview and broad and detailed overview of the bar prep. Any questions? Hi Tanvi, is that any specific subject in which we have to do? No, you can do anything. So that's why the point is that there are certain requirements that you would be required to fulfill in your LLM course. Like you need to do certain credits. So like for New York bar, you need to do 24 credits, which makes you eligible after doing LLM. Out of those 24 credits, I think 8 have to be for New York subjects. So these New York subjects you can cover in once you go into an LLM school. They are very proficient with this. They will help you out with like what subjects you must choose. So for example, like in my first LLM, I have two LLMs. So in my first LLM, the subjects I chose were it was in IPR, trademarks and copyrights law, and to fulfill these 8 New York requirements. Wait, it was 8 only. And the reason I'm blanking out on this is I did it in 2016, so it's been a long time that I got my evaluation done. So I took property law and I took torts. So every student takes, because I was really good at torts in law school in India, and it is easier for me. So I just took torts, and property law was helping me complete my credit. So I took that. You can choose from any of these 8 subjects. Very few students tend to choose from these subjects, but you can still choose that. Even if you're going for like IPR, you don't see any trademarks, copyrights, anything over here, but you can do that. So these are certain requirements. The only requirement is of 24 credits that you have to fulfill. You can do any LLM in any subject. But once you go, just remember that what subjects are you choosing from this. Few students, they don't do it because they feel that they are not going to be taking the bar exam. So for them, then they have to later on go to law school and just do like 1 credit or 2 credit course to complete this requirement. That happens not that commonly. Few students only do that, but majority of the students, they tend to complete these requirements while they are in law school itself, like while they are doing their LLM itself. I hope that answered your question, Tanvi. Did that answer your question? Okay, cool. Any other questions? Any confusions? Again, this you can find me on LinkedIn, and this is my bar mentorship program. You can, there's a LinkedIn page, there's a website, you can follow it as well. Um, and Okay. In the mentorship, I don't think anyone has any questions. If you guys have, just keep posting it in the chat. In the mentorship, what I do is, like you saw that I go over the questions. The bar journey is, I'll say, not an easy one, especially if you have not passed the exam first time, because it's a huge blow to your confidence. We all, like everyone who's taking the bar exam, they are attorneys in their home countries. They are really high performers. But once you don't do the exam, it just hurts you, and not just financially, it hurts your confidence. And anyway, there are so many other things that you have to manage. Like, you're no longer a 20-year-old, you're older than that. You need to find a job, you need to sort out your visa, you have other things going on in your life. So I help out with like making a plan according to you. So say, for example, someone has taken the Babri course. Now I will be the one who will be like, if you've committed to something, then I'll be sitting on your head that you have got to finish it. If you've committed for something like that, you have got to do it. I tailor the plan according to the mentees. That if you are like, every day, if you have only 1 hour to study, then you should study on this subject. If this subject is weaker for you, you should do maybe deeper analysis. But if there is a subject that's stronger for you, maybe you're fine just doing the questions, like read it once, fine doing the questions. So all those guidelines I go through. If someone is interested in more detail, you can just again reach out to me. I do 30-minute free consultations, so you can just get more idea about that. But again, since I'm assuming you guys are in law school right now, or just like recently graduated, the first step for you would be to go through and get your foreign evaluation. And if you want to take the bar exam, get your foreign evaluation and be ready to take the exam. And once you have sent in your documents, then you can start thinking about, like, how do you want to prepare, when do you want to take the exam, how are you going to finalize the logistics and all those things. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. It's overwhelming even for students, LLM students who come here. One more thing I'll say is, the reason why it becomes more difficult for international students specifically to pass this exam is not because we are stupid. We are actually very smart, but because we are not familiar with this style of testing, we are not familiar with this style of study. So like, we never, at least when I was there in law school, there was no the MCQ questions, the MBE questions that we had, they were not like this. They were like very simple questions. And the essays were also not like questions like, they are actually giving you a fact pattern where you have to apply the law, and then you have to do a proper IRAC or CREAC. CREAC is conclusion, rule, explanation, analysis, and then again you state the conclusion. IRAC, you guys must be familiar with, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. So that's the reason that it gets more difficult for international students to pass in the first attempt. That being said, it's not impossible to like just pass in your first attempt, but unfortunately, if you don't pass in your first attempt, it's absolutely fine to pass in your second or later attempts. Even JD students, they tend to make a difference with. I'll just get to your question in a minute, Anirudh. Um, uh, Even JD students, at times, they don't crack it in their first attempt. Okay, Anirudh, your question is, since India follows a common law system but with different procedural laws, what major conceptual differences Should Indian law graduates be prepared for while studying US law for the bar exam? Uh, what major conceptual differences should Indian law graduates be prepared for while studying US law for the bar exam? I would say majorly, because US is also a common law jurisdiction, right? So I don't recall it being that different. Like maybe like certain things like procedural laws would be a little different, like timing, like in civil procedure, maybe a motion has to be granted. In India, it has to be what was that? Uh, Temporary injunction, temporary restraining order, TRO. That is granted for like I don't remember. Trust me, I don't remember for India. It has been a very long time for me. But over here, it can be granted for the first days for only 14 days. So that those time periods may be different, but otherwise, broadly, the concepts will be the same. It will not be something like you'll be like, oh, this is like I have to learn from the scratch. That doesn't happen. That to my memory doesn't happen. Certain things maybe you've not studied in India, like for property law there are certain things like recording statutes or race statutes. I don't remember it studying in India. Maybe I was not paying attention in property class, or maybe it's not there, I don't know. But that is the only difference. But being different, it's the only testing style is something that you've got to get acquainted with in the US. Otherwise, with respect to subjects, I would not say it's so much difficult between India and the US. I hope that answers your question, Anirudh. Meanwhile, I'll go to Nitya's question. After qualifying for a US bar exam, what career opportunities are realistically available for international lawyers without prior US work experience? That's a different ballgame altogether. So, US bar exam is definitely one of the blockers to practice in the US. But broadly speaking, working in the US is not just about bar exam. It's a culmination of a number of factors. It is like which if you did an internship when you were in your LLM, which law school did you go to? Of course, law school makes a difference, but not so much, I would say, depending on what LLM you are specializing in. And then visa is a major blocker. Like I would say bar exam is not that big a blocker. I have known friends, I've known students who have passed the bar exam, yet they could not find a job because of like it's not that easy, it's really difficult. I've also known students who have students, friends who have found a job, but like for over a 10-year period, they still have not taken the bar exam. So they are working as law clerks, they are working as paralegals. Once you do the bar exam, once you have passed the bar exam, you become an thing is that I'll say it's you will find all sorts of examples. You should definitely speak with many people before you decide to come to the US, but or go for an LLM wherever in the world you want to go for, because everyone's journey becomes very different. It's not a secret sauce. It's not a secret recipe that you've done these things, then you're definitely going to get a job. Um, people get a job, their visa gets picked up, then they stay in here, they do not pass the bar exam. They have not passed the bar exam, people have that their visa, they got a job, they passed the bar exam, but their visa did not get picked up in H1B lottery, or they passed the exam, but they found a job, but they were not willing to sponsor their visa. So all kinds of things you will find. And someone who's just being like that, no, this happened for me, yeah, it's an easy journey. Maybe it was for that particular person, but be very mindful that this is a gamble that you're playing when you come to US for, or I'll say any country that you go for masters. So keep your options open always. Don't try to restrict yourself. And if you want to go for LLM, check with the universities wherever you're planning to go. Make sure that you reach out to the professors. People over here are professors and administration. They are really prompt on email, so they'll respond to your questions. Make sure you have done your research before you decide which program to pursue and which university to go for. I hope that answered your question, Nitya. Any other questions? Okay, cool. Any other questions? I know we are out of time, I'm assuming now. Okay. Okay, cool. Sounds great. Again, you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn, and feel free to reach out regarding anything with respect to bar exam or LLM preparation as well. I'll be very happy to help you out in whatever way I can. It's comparatively a more challenging degree to be doing it in a foreign environment. So good luck to everyone.
As we come to the end of this insightful session, it's my proud privilege to purpose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Sanghamitra Sahi, for delivering
You have shared with us. We really look forward to hearing more from you. I would also like to sincerely thank all the participants for their enthusiastic presence and thoughtful engagement, which made the session all more meaningful. Once again, thank you, ma'am, and thank you everyone for being a part of it.
Thank you so much for hosting me. And again, please feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn. And good luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
No worries. Thank you. You're welcome.